Hi. So rarely does the Bible or any of the gospel stories give us a straight answer. And today's gospel story, The Road to Emmaus, is no different, I'm afraid. It doesn't give us answers. In fact, it just raises more questions and gives us lots to think about. Because it's the story of every single one of our lives. It's a story of shattering and redemption. And if your life has ever been shattered, then this is your story. And if your life has ever been restored, then this is your story. And if you've ever been in that place between shattering and restoration, then this is your story. This story is the description of the journey from Jerusalem to Emmaus and back to Jerusalem. It's a journey that Cleopas and his companion take, and it's a journey that each of us has taken, is taking, or will take. And surprisingly, and it's not a one-time journey, it's a journey we will take over and over again. So here's some hot off the press news. I officially became divorced on the 12th of April, 4 years and 1 month after my husband left me for a younger model. I can now officially tick that box on the form that says divorced. I did it this week, and it just made me so incredibly sad to do it. 4 years ago, my life was shattered, totally shattered. My marriage died right in front of me suddenly and unexpectedly. My future and all that I had hoped my life would look like was gone in what looked like and felt like a fatal car crash. Every part of my life was affected by this, having to sell and leave our family home, leave my family and friends, my support system, get a new job, move away, start everything new. And I can't thank God enough that he jumped in immediately, no messing with his restoration plans. Within weeks, he had provided me with a home, a wonderful church to work for, a loving and non-judgmental church family, a fantastic village community, overflowing more than I could ever have expected, and he didn't hang about. But these last 4 years have still been a place of pain and sorrow and loss, whilst waiting for the results of the inquest into the death of my marriage and the death certificate to be written. I've been in that in-between place, between shattering and restoration. That is my story. So, have you ever felt like you just needed to get away? Like life has given you too much to handle? Have you ever run away from life? Have you ever been deeply disappointed? Have you lived with unmet expectations? Has your world been turned upside down? Have you, like me, recently wrestled with those big questions of just who am I now? What's next? Where do I go? What do I do? Can you remember a time when you did everything right and life still didn't work out how you planned it or wanted it to? Have you grieved the death of a loved one, a dream, an identity, a future? Has your life ever been shattered? If so, then you know what it's like to be Cleopas and his companion. It's Easter morning, and the 2 disciples are leaving Jerusalem, and who can blame them? Jerusalem is a place of pain, sorrow and loss. It's a place of death, unmet expectations and disappointment, and nobody wants to stay in that place. And as they walk, they're talking about the things that happened and the things that didn't happen. They're talking about Jesus' arrest, his torture, his crucifixion and his death. They're talking about hope that didn't materialise, and unmet expectations, and they are, quite rightly so, disappointed and sad. They had hoped that Jesus was the one, but he's dead. And there's a part of them that's been lost, that died with Jesus. There was absolutely nothing to keep them in Jerusalem. Now, who knows why they chose to go to Emmaus? Who knows? But I've known times when I just wanted to get away, and any place was better than where I was. Any place would be better than Jerusalem. See, Emmaus is our escape from life, or so we think. What we don't know at the time, and what Cleopas and his companion did not know, is that it's also the way back to life. And that realization happened for the two disciples, as it does for us in the breaking of bread. It wasn't an escape from life that took them to Emmaus, it was a hunger for life. It wasn't brokenness that took them to Emmaus, but a hunger for wholeness. It wasn't a shattering that took them to Emmaus, but a hunger for restoration. See, hunger is more than physical, it's also spiritual and emotional. And we are all, by nature, hungry. We hunger for life, we hunger for love, wholeness, community, meaning, purpose, could go on. But when Jesus was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed it, and broke it and gave it to them. And then their eyes were opened and they recognized him. They recognized him as the one that they had left for dead in Jerusalem. They recognized him as the one who had accompanied them on the road to Emmaus. They recognized him as the one they had hoped he would be. Jesus wasn't just giving them bread, he was giving them back to themselves. He was their restoration. There was their restoration. When Jesus broke the bread, something in them broke open. And with that breaking open, their lives were put back together again. And so it is for us. We've all had times when our lives were broken open in ways that we could never imagine or have done for ourselves. And despite how it feels, our brokenness is not the ending. There is more to it than we often see or know. It's not just brokenness, it's breaking open. It's breaking open to new life, to new vision, to new recognition, to community, welcome, hospitality, and love. And that is why we gather around the table on a Sunday. Jesus fed them not just with bread, but with himself, with his body, his life, his love, his compassion, his strength, his forgiveness, his hope, with all that he is and all that he has. And their life was being restored in their being broken open. But as soon as they saw and recognized Jesus, he vanished from their sight. Where do you think he went? Was he abandoning them? Was he playing games with them? And now you see me, now you don't? Was he undoing everything that had just happened? It wasn't like that. He was no longer before them, in front of them, because now he was within them. Jesus was the burning heart in them and had been there all along. Sometimes that burning is felt as brokenness, as hunger, as being shattered, and other times as deep joy and gratitude. But always, it is Jesus. And in that same hour, they got up and returned to Jerusalem. They returned to the place from which they had to get away. Jerusalem is not only the place of death, it is also the place of life. Not only the place of sorrow, but the place of joy. It's not only a place of shattering, but a place of restoration. Cleopas and his companion arrived back with news of their Emmaus experience, only to hear that Jesus was alive, was seen and present in Jerusalem. We leave Jerusalem in order to return to Jerusalem, to face our deaths, losses and shattered lives. And in doing so, we discover that life awaits us. We return to reclaim ourselves, to recover the lost pieces of ourselves. The city hasn't changed, but we have. Shattered lives, broken bread, restored lives. Jerusalem, Emmaus, Jerusalem. That seems to be the pattern. It's never as simple or as easy as it sounds. It's one thing to name the pattern, it's another to live it. It takes time and effort. It's not easy and it's painful. And it means trusting that somehow the shards of our lives will become the pieces of our new life, our new view on life, our new way of living. For me, Jerusalem is in sight. I can now officially do my mourning and move on, and I can't wait to discover what life awaits for me. I have visited both Jerusalem and Emmaus many times in my Christian journey, and I expect to do it many times more. And let's be honest, we've all been there. So where are you at the moment? Are you leaving Jerusalem? Are you in Emmaus? Are you on the way? Are you returning to Jerusalem? In what way has your life been shattered? What are you running from today? What are you running towards today? What is your Jerusalem today? Is it a place of sorrow and loss, or a place of life and restoration? Where is your Emmaus? How do you imagine the lives of those two disciples were changed that day? How would you like your life to be different? What today in your life is being broken open? What needs to be broken open? What in your present circumstances is being or needs to be restored and put back together? There are no right or wrong answers to these questions. There's only your answer. Whether your answers may be that they describe the coming together of Jesus, whatever your answers may be, they describe the coming together of Jesus' life and your life. Shattering, breaking open and restoring are all places of meeting Jesus. They were for the two disciples in today's gospel, and they are for us as well. Jesus was in Jerusalem before Cleopas and his companion ever left. He was with them on the road to Emmaus, and he was in the breaking of the bread, and he was already in Jerusalem when they returned. God has said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. So we can say with confidence, the Lord is my helper, so I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me? Shattered lives, broken bread, restored lives. Jerusalem, Emmaus, Jerusalem. Let's journey together, folks. Amen.